Good evening, everyone. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium and channel, and I'm just waiting for Gillen Maiden to come and join us, and we're going to talk about what the Ascension process is and what the purposes in connecting to our guides and angels are at this time and what advantage that is for us. And so as soon as she joins, we'll get right to it. I don't know about you guys, but the amount of energy that's been coming in the last few days has been literally making me like hot. As the sun projects more of these higher ascension energies at the planet. Because remember, the consciousness of humanity is changing very rapidly. And all things around us are working simultaneously. I'm just going to see if Gillen's here now. Not yet. Okay. So, time of ascension. What is ascension? A lot of questions, a lot of people ask that question. What is the ascension process? And what they tell me, and I've got Archangel Michael sitting behind me, and he's always energetically pushing at me from behind. And I got Master Jesus too, who's always got his arm around my shoulder. And they're both basically saying ascension. Ascension is about raising your consciousness deliberately and intentionally towards frequencies of love. And he says there are many different frequencies of love that are available to us, but that ultimately is what the ascension process boils down to, raising the vibrational frequency of your consciousness to a state of love. And what does that actually look like? And from our perspective, that looks like, what kind of food do we eat? Are you eating foods that are really high vibrational for your body? Do they improve the quality of the way energy works in your body, your vitality, your light, your excitement, your enthusiasm? Does your food invigorate you and enliven you? Are you drinking really good water? Does the water you drink raise your vibrational frequency up? Does it make your body more conductive for electrical energy? Because in the ascension process, as you raise your vibrational consciousness up to a state of love. Love is a much higher frequency than fear. Fear is a very base, slow, heavy frequency, whereas love is a high frequency. And the higher the frequency the vibration is, the more electrical energy your body's going to be utilizing, which is why we also say drink lots of water. They tell us drink lots of clean water whenever you're connecting to them or whenever you're engaged in spiritual activities like meditation, yoga, any spiritual practices that are designed to expand your consciousness to a higher vibrational frequency of love. And let's see if Gillen's here yet. So Michael has been like really at me saying this is really important time for everybody on this planet right now. He says it's a really important time. You have to understand that all beings are going through the ascension process, whether they're conscious of it or not. Every single one of us is being affected by these higher vibrational frequencies coming to the planet. So it's really important to know how to integrate them. You integrate them with proper food, proper water, proper thought, meditation, and opening up to the guidance and wisdom of your guides, your angels, your archangels, and beings that are multidimensional beings that are around us all of the time, waiting for us to engage them and avail ourselves of their wisdom and their knowledge. And they have a lot of wisdom and knowledge. You know, a year ago they told me I had to stop drinking coffee, I had to start exercising a certain way, and I did. I actually made those changes, and the level of vitality and the excitement and the clarity that comes with the changes that I've made based on what they suggested has been absolutely phenomenal. And the type of growth and the people we're meeting, the things that start to happen in your life when you realign yourself to a vibration of love deliberately and intentionally. Let's just see if Gillen has made it here. Okay, let's see. I'll bring you on here. It gives me the option of bringing... Okay, Gillen, you may need to exit and come back in, Gillen, because I do see you. Hi, Joe. Hi, Gillen. So yeah, Gillen, if you want, just go on back out and then come on back in again. And I think that's I'll bring you on from once you come back in. As you know, we sometimes have to reset this. The reason they told me they wanted us to do this Ascension live presentation night is that we need to get the word out to as many people that Ascension, in order for it to be effective, has to be a deliberate, consciously engaged process. Even though everybody on the planet is going through huge ascension processes, migraines, intense emotional swings, high vibrational things, ringing in the ears. There's all kinds of symptoms to this ascension process that everybody's going through, but not everybody knows what it is. A lot of people think there's medical problems as a result of these higher frequencies of energies that are bombarding the planet. Hi, Karen. Okay, let's see. Gillen, it says it's adding you. Wonderful. It's amazing, isn't it amazing how technology allowed us all to come together from all parts of the world. We got people from Australia here, we got people from the United States here, got people from Canada here. That our technology has made this world a much more unified place in consciousness where we get to connect to and network our consciousness more like a grid than being dispersed in different points of time and space. It still says it's adding you, Gillen, so it'll just take a moment. Wow. And so coming to this place of ascension, what is ascension? It's changing your vibrational frequency from a state of fear, ultimately, to a state of love and grace, where you feel and know that your consciousness is not limited by fear, anger, guilt, or shame. You actually deliberately step away from those things. You leave those things, those past emotions behind. It says I'm not getting an answer from you, Gillen. So I'll try that again. Okay, we'll try it again. It's amazing. And you get the chance to learn the technology. If you want to be part of this global movement, you learn to use the technology. Yeah.
Hello.
Wonderful.
Hello.
Wonderful.
We got there.
Gillen's joining us from what part of Australia are you in again, Gillen?
I'm in Melbourne. Yes, all the way over in Melbourne.
Is it wintry down there still, or is it summery? What's it like there?
Well, at the moment, because I live in Melbourne, so most people think Australia is really warm, but Melbourne, we tend to have 4 seasons in one day. So we've just come into spring, but it's still quite cool. Like the other day it was 26, today it's 11. So it's a little bit here, there and everywhere. As long as you have a jumper all the time, you're fine. But it is a bit cooler today. It's been raining this weekend. So yeah, it's nice though.
So this is not a good time of year to come down to Melbourne.
No, definitely not. No, definitely come in summer. Anyone who's looking to come to Melbourne, come in summer is my recommendation, unless you like the cold.
When is your summer down there?
From December until January. Oh, no, so February, sorry. So yeah, December to February. But really, I think it kind of starts more late December now and goes until like March. We're still quite warm in March, which is kind of nice.
So your winter is the opposite of our winter. When we got a winter when you got your summer.
Yes,
so
I need to come and live in Canada while Australian winter is on.
Well, you'll be coming up this way next year sometime, won't you?
Yeah, I'll be there in August. I'm really excited.
Wonderful. Looking forward to that. So we titled this the Ascension Movement. I wanted to get your feedback. Let me tell you a bit more about you. Gillen is one of our instructors in our upcoming mediumship courses, which start in October. And she does yoga, and she's going to be working with the students and helping them to sense energy and other areas that you get trained in developing yourself consciously in these courses. But what got you onto the ascension process? What got you into this whole movement, Gillen?
I think it's really funny. I think everything that you need in life has a way of finding you, as cliche as that sounds. So I was your typical corporate, go from, go to work long hours. And then I was literally stopped in my tracks. So I was hit by a car, and there's nothing and that's quite common. It's actually interesting as you go through this process, you realize that people have a real life-changing event that stops them in their tracks. And then it's kind of like you pause and you go, oh, what am I doing? And it's kind of like you literally wake up. So anyway, I won't babble on about that for too long, but I'd never practiced yoga. I'd never meditated. I'd never done anything before that moment. And then as a form of recovery, the physios had said, you need to practice yoga and Pilates to keep going. And I was like, okay, what's this yoga business? And I went to my first yoga class and I was like, that was very interesting. But mentally, I felt amazing because she'd done a small meditation as part
Right.
of it. And then all of a sudden, from yoga, brought around mindfulness. And then I started tuning in and noticing symbols and like a complete shift in the way that I felt. And it was really funny. So the day that I was hit by a car, I actually had this voice in my head. Well, the week before I was hit by a car, 3 days before, saying, you need to be really careful. You're going to be hit by a car here. And
Wow.
I was like, what? It's really weird. And so I heard that on the Monday, heard it again on the Tuesday, and then on the Thursday, and I was hit by the car on the Friday.
Wow. And you were warned
Yes.
each of those days.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's like crazy. I couldn't believe it. And I guess that, along with the mindfulness that yoga has brought on, had made me go, why did I hear that voice? That definitely wasn't me. And then like the stillness that yoga and meditation, or just not even the stillness. I think before that, I wasn't a very conscious person. I was very disconnected from my body, my mind, and my soul. And yoga kind of starts to bring all those things in together.
Right.
And then from that, I started getting more into meditation. And then I met an actual client of mine and I had dinner. And as I was leaving the room, once again, like I think all things you need in life find you, I noticed that she had crystals on her side table. And I went, oh, you're into crystals. And she said, yes, I am. This is Philomae. And I said, and I pulled some out of my pocket and I said, here's some crystals. And then her and I just began buzzing every time we started talking about, you know, spirituality and connecting. And I guess from that conversation opened up a whole doorway of things into my life. So then I started she was like, I think you should do this mediumship course. And so at the start of the year, I decided to do the mediumship course. And it's probably been, it's just been another tip of amazing things that have helped me become and develop a better version of myself.
Right. So the accident was that the turning point for you? Was that the
Yeah.
wake up call for you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
No.
definitely. Yeah.
Where do you think you would be if that didn't happen?
I don't know, to be honest. I think I'd probably, I honestly, I really hate to think, because I was not in a great space. Like I was drinking a lot. I was, smoking cigarettes when I go out. I was not sleeping, not eating well. And I think when you do all of those things, you don't realize the effect that has on your body, both physically,
Yeah.
mentally.
Yeah.
And when you start to like tune in, and what you said before is so important about the food that you eat and how that actually makes you feel. So I think I don't like to think about where I would be if that didn't happen. I think I'd be a very unhappy person.
Wow.
Even if, like, a friend say to me now, since starting these courses, they're like, you look like a completely different person, which is amazing.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
my energy has gone from like here to up here. Like it's really, really incredible. And I think, like, regardless of where you sit in your journey, if you can learn to tune into yourself and whatever guidance you seek, and then that can help you live a more fulfilled life and move past things that have once held you back, then I think that's the real power of.
Okay, she's down in Australia. She might have hung up the screen might have hung up because the signal sometimes goes down there, but that's quite all right. That's a really amazing story. Because it is about big changes like that happen. I know I've had big changes like that in my life where I was very suicidal. I was going to jump off a bridge, and a voice spoke to me and said, "Do not jump. Get down off the bridge and go to that payphone and call." And I now know who that being is. Gillian, you can come back on when you come back on. And I took the words of that voice. But this voice warned her. And the question I wanted to ask her when she comes back on is if she's figured out who that voice was. For me, that voice, was was my higher self talking to the me that was thinking I was just this body mind. And you know, when you start learning to listen to what you don't know, you start to understand a little bit more about who you can become versus who you think you are. And because there's a big distinction between who you think you are and who you truly are. And the only way you get to know that is by stepping out of the thoughts and the emotions that you know of as yourself, and explore beyond the boundaries of that portion of your sense of identity. And when you begin to step outside of that, you start to liberate yourself from the old self, what many of the mystics call the old self, the personality, the mask, that the name that was given to the container that you're conditioned, or I'm conditioned to think we're supposed to be. And then when you begin to step out of that, you step into a realm that I call the knowable unknown. And I say knowable unknown because you cannot change or grow beyond where you are unless you experience something different than what you currently know. And until you experience something different than what you currently know, you will not change, except within the confines of what you know. What Gillian talked about, let's see if she's back here now. No worries, hon. What Gillian talked about is very similar, where that event happened, and it was completely outside of what she knew, the voice, everything, and it created a shift. And this is what another key component, Michael's telling me this right now. This is hi there. I just want to finish this statement. Another key component. Hi, Gillian. Another key component of the ascension process is stepping outside of what you know to become liberated from what you don't know. The question I want to ask you, Gillian, the voice that spoke to you during those 3 days and said, "Be careful." Did you ever identify in your learning, and since then, have you identified who or what that being was?
I think that was definitely my higher self.
Yeah.
And it's interesting when you look back on your life, there are other moments where maybe not the word phrases that I got at that time, but I could, after doing these courses, identify times in which that same guidance or knowing had come through. Because I think that's quite important. Some people just know things and they don't really know why they know things.
Yes.
But it's like, well, how do you know what you don't know?
Yes, that's a great point. That's a great point you bring up, and that gets kind of addressed when you start learning how to sense the energy of beings around you. Like, we're only hearing and seeing 1% of the visual and auditory spectrum, and if you learn how to extend your awareness beyond what you're used to seeing and hearing, you will start to see and hear things differently. Like, there are beings around all of us on many dimensions. You can call in Archangel Michael or Archangel Gabriel, or you can call in your higher self, or even God will communicate with you.
Yeah.
It's within us all, right? This intelligence, and being able to actually deliberately sense it. And I know for you, that was a process you went through. What was it like for you when you first began to actually sense that you could actually sense your higher self and these other beings?
It was amazing. I remember sitting there on the couch and I was like, sitting there and practicing, because as part of the courses we go through a practice of sensing energies, just for anyone who doesn't know. And so that's where we're encouraged to call on 3 energies that we've learnt about and ask them to step into our energy field so we can feel them. And I remember sitting there and just being thrown back, and I was like, oh my God, wow, that's crazy. And then that was when I was playing with energies that I was aware of. And then it was really interesting because an energy stepped in that I hadn't dealt with before, I hadn't been aware that I'd experienced before, I think is the important thing. And my head got thrown back, and that's a no for me. And then my head was all of a sudden moved to a bit of paper that said Gabriel. And I was like, is this Archangel Gabriel? And then it was this rocking back, and it was amazing. And from that was really the tipping point in terms of a critical moment for me to understand that we can really, and the power of connecting to these beings when we allow it. So that was a really, really amazing point. And
That is amazing. That's wonderful that you can communicate that experience and know that that was a defining part in your process to recognize they're always around us all the time. It's just a matter of developing a process for where you actually become aware of them. It's like right now we're all sitting where we're sitting and listening to this and doing what we're doing.
Mm.
But around us, if you shift your attention, what are the noises you can hear in the distance that you're not paying attention to until I just mentioned that? The minute
Yeah.
you the minute you learn to shift your perception from what you know to slightly different place, you get to know what you don't know. And we're really big about what you don't know because it frees you up, right?
It does free you up, and because the brain is only, the brain only knows what it's been taught. But when we're a baby, we come in and we have no experience of everything, anything. So the way I like to think of it is that when we're a baby, out where we've got to is because of our understanding and our experience of things that we've learnt. So this is just an extension on that learning, because now we're learning different things that we haven't experienced before. So I think that's, for me, has been a really nice way to try and work a way that my analytical brain, which has had to step out of the way a little bit, can be more open.
Yes. And how was that for you? That's because I know a lot of people get into this. They try to figure what things mean out all the time, so they can have it in some sort of a framework to understand. How did you let that part go? How did you get beyond that part, that desire to want to try and figure it out?
That's kind of been a hard thing, and I think that knowing that my brain only knows what I've taught it or what it's experienced thus far, has been pivotal in that process, and also just being more open and being like, okay, well, I didn't know how to ride a bike until I taught myself how to ride a bike. So I didn't know how to become a medium until I taught myself how to become a medium. Does that make sense? Like, it's
Absolutely. It's like
yeah.
getting to that place where you know that you're not what you've been conditioned to think you are, or what you've been believing that you are, and stepping out of that allowed you to see this other side. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
absolutely. Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely stepping past, what I thought I was, because what we think we are is limited to what we really can be. And I guess that's the amazing thing.
So what's different for you when you wake up in the morning now versus before you began to realize you have these beings you can communicate with, and you have this, I mean,
I think
we're really big on on eating and what you drink. What's the difference for you in waking up in the morning or going to sleep at night now?
I go to sleep feeling rested, and I'm really big on, when I go to sleep, setting what my intentions are going to be for the day. And when I wake up, I am conscious of the first things that I do in the morning. And I wake up and, instead of being at the mercy of my phone or somebody else, I take time for me to connect with and something and another energy. And it just starts my day in a much better way. I wake up feeling lighter.
Yeah,
Instead of feeling burdened, if that makes sense, or like I already have to do a million things. Like when
yes,
you realize
yes.
that, yeah, when you realize that you have this whole team and that you're really never alone, and that there are reasons for everything that happens in your life, or everything that you happens in your life is a choice, and that you can have help in reprogramming to have new choice, to make new choices. It's amazing, because then it puts you in the driver's seat.
Now when you first got introduced to the course that we teach, what was that pivotal moment for you in the course where you realized this is taking me to where I need me to be in my life? What was that for you?
I think that continues, to be honest, because I feel like that is an ever-changing process. But I think working with you and working how the energies that we hold on to, so the beliefs about ourselves, how that has shaped our life thus far. And I think most of us are very unconscious of that. And I guess that was the moment, because then I really realized, oh, hold on, I can change all of this. And then I think that there's a really interesting thing with when you're on path, things come naturally. Things start to come easily. Do you know what I mean? Like, I did these courses, then all of a sudden you meet certain people and you end up working with them. And if you had have told me in January, because that's when I first started these courses, that I'd be here now, I would have gone, what? What? But yeah, it's amazing. I think like it's
What's the
helping
you?
me,
What's
give
the you from
me,
Jan? What's the you now have to say to the you from January?
I think that me now is a lot more grounded.
Right.
I'm the me in January was still a little bit flighty, was still a little bit of a victim. I was pretty becoming more conscious, um, but I'm so much more conscious now and connected and understanding of the fact that we're all here for a certain reason, and we're not here for the reasons that we thought we were here. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm a much more happier and healthier person than I was then, which is
Wow.
awesome.
Well, you're like so
Yeah.
many other people, like so many other people in the course too. You committed yourself, even when it was really hard. I mean, changing what you eat and changing what you drink and meditating. I mean, people that were in the course, some never even meditated a day in their life, and now they're like they're meditating an hour a day now. Um,
Yeah, and that's the amazing thing. Like, I think, like, I had a slight meditation process through yoga before that, but this has really implemented it into a really important part of my life, and I feel really connected. And when we start to disconnect from who we think we are, and I use it like this, it's amazing what we actually are, and the comfort and this sense of complete wholeness that you feel when you disconnect from the things that you think that make you happy, before they don't really bring true happiness. And it's very interesting as you go through this process and you start to understand that all you really need is within you. And that is a huge realization, I think, that people, and I hope everyone through this course and who's listening to this gets to experience that, because that is really, really powerful. And then it makes you realize I don't need all the things I thought I needed, which is amazing.
it's funny, Master Jesus has just leaned into my right ear and he's saying, "You see, this is working. She's got it. She's got it." He's saying that to me. She's got it. This is working. And to me, that like the love that I feel from that and the gratitude I feel, because I know how much effort and time everybody in the course has put in to become that transition. I mean, we in the course we have the practice session, so you're actually working with other people in the class and course. So you're not just taking instruction, you're actually applying these lessons in real time through live presentations and one-on-ones and practice sessions. How did that add to the mix for you personally?
I think that that is the best part, to be honest, because for you to really understand something, you need to experience it. So you can sit there and watch lectures and that, you know, can kind of wash all over you. But when you actually put into practice what you've been learning, it's when it becomes really powerful. And even like watching other students and watching you and Norma and Phil and like everyone who's been a part of the course, like, and seeing little white tricks and tips and then getting to practice that with other students, I think that's what makes it really, really special.
Yeah.
And that's the best part.
That is the best part because we're seeing all these people that didn't think it was possible to be talking to their guides and angels. Uh,
Yeah.
and, and yet there's a process. I mean, this whole course was downloaded to us from Master Jesus and Katsumi and Buddha and a few others, Kuan Yin. They download this course into us, and it's been really amazing how they figured out exactly what people needed to know and brought. It's just amazing to
Yeah.
experience these guides and angels that are available for you at all times, and then to know that you can actually talk to them and get your head out of the way so you can listen. Uh,
Yeah.
'Cause that's a really big one. A big stumbling block for a lot of people is learning to go beyond what we know, so that we know what we don't know.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And I think that that's what becomes really important about the live practices, is that it's learning to go with that first gut instinct, because that's always the correct thing. And so then if you practice that throughout these courses, then you can start to implement that into your real life when you connect and, you know, you go, what should I be doing around this? That first feeling or guidance that you, for me, it's feeling. For someone else, it may be a vision, it may be a word, hearing something, that's right. And then that's where you can really start to, it becomes really powerful.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I agree wholeheartedly with that, because we all still keep learning regardless, and anything you learn new is going to expand you. What about your personal life? How's it from outside of just the world of Gillen? How's it affected your relationships with people in the world? How have you changed it as you've incorporated more of this and become more connected to your team and you guys and received and responded more guidance? How's that impacting your life in general?
It's amazing. It's one thing in my life that I can't say has had a negative effect at all. It's made me be able to communicate my emotions and how I'm feeling more openly with people, which
Yeah.
that's a huge thing for me. I
Yeah,
used to like to pretend that I don't have any feelings. It's also been really interesting in my personal life, learning to let go of things that had once triggered me, and that's more about me than it is about them. That's been a huge thing, because and you just learn to let go. Like, it's just things that would have upset me before. I'm just like, why I don't care. And I'm constantly saying that to my friends now. I'm like, why do you care? It's choice. Why are you caring about this?
Yeah.
Do you really want to feel like this? But and that's also hard. That's something that I am still learning, is how to not be reactive to other people's things, because ultimately no one else is responsible for our feelings. We are. But it also, like, just recently I've been changing the way that I've thought, or the energy that I've thought about certain situations and people, and it is amazing the results that has had. So for instance, there is someone that I would be quite mad with. I'd be like, how dare you, blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, no, I'm actually going to flip this and start sending out love. And the way that they treat me now is everything that I wanted before.
Wow.
And that just shows.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's, yeah. It's like, and I guess, like, also as you go through this process, I want to say to people that one thing can be quite hard is that a lot of people will fall away because you change. But what is amazing is, as those people fall away, more people who are like-minded start to step in, and that's really where it becomes really nice. And whilst you do lose some people out of your life, you send them love and light, and you would never wish harm upon them, but you just want different things in life. And as new people start to come in, that's where it's then you can start to talk about these kind of things. And it's amazing when you're in a room full of people and you're buzzing. Like, when we all get together, it's incredible.
It's interesting too. When I remember the very first time, it took you a while before you, because in the class and courses, for those of you that are watching and are interested, you actually come live in the group to practice channeling, to practice sensing energy, to communicate, use the technology. We train you to use this technology called Facebook Live, so you can actually practice coming live like we are right now. And I remember when you first started out, it was like, you remember that process? Look where you are now. I mean, you're sitting here and we're having this conversation. Like 6 months ago, this would not have happened.
No way. I was like, no way am I doing that. In fact, one of the teachers like forced me to come live, and I was like, oh, what are you doing? And then I just kind of hide in the background and be like, no, I'm just going to watch, just to be a little observer. And and then I was like, I made myself a promise this year that I would do the things that scared me. And so, because I think that's where the real growth and beauty is. And so now I've been doing the things that scare me, and it's, I can't believe that I'm here and having the confidence to just be like, let's just go for it. So if I can do it, trust me, anybody can.
Yeah. Michael's saying she's understanding the power of love now, that the power of love is fearless. The power of love is fearlessness. That is the power of love. It is fearless. And you're understanding that now, because like I said, you're going live with people now regularly, and as some of the others are too.
And I would have never done that 6 months ago. I would be like, no, I just watch. Or I'd like, go. What was that?
It's okay. Where do you see yourself in 3 months or 6 months from this, based on what you're experiencing, the changes that are unfolding in your life? Because it's been, like I said, to go from where you were 6 months ago to being live and communicating fearlessly right now and sharing your experience this way is, I mean, that's a huge shift in 6 months for somebody that was where you were. Where do you see that yourself being in 6 months from now?
That's a very interesting question. I think probably living the life I've always wanted, on the way to living the life that I've always wanted to live, that is like free of worry about what others will think, and on path, if that makes sense. Like I've always felt like I should be doing something else, and I feel like I'm working towards that thing that I'm meant to be doing, which is amazing. Who knows? Yeah, who knows where I'll be, but it's exciting. And do you know what I mean? And sometimes I also think the mind can't conceive. We've just spoken about how the mind can't conceive what it doesn't know. So I think that where I'm going and where everybody's going, we can't conceive yet because we haven't experienced it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But the minute you can step outside of what you think you know and feel,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
different starts to happen, right? As we
yeah,
all know.
exactly. I
As
think for me, like, yeah, sorry.
no, it's for you. It's what?
For me, it's like really stepping past. I feel like I'm really starting to step past those things that held me back, like those limiting beliefs, that fear, and to really go for what I actually want to go for, which is really exciting. And yeah, and helping more people discover their true selves, and helping them connect with that which is already around them, which is it was really exciting. Like I love seeing people grow. I know the benefit that this has had on my life, so the fact that we get to help people go through the same benefits is so humbling. Like, and
It,
I'm very excited for everyone.
it has been amazing. I mean, I cannot tell you. One of the reasons I love doing this work with my team is because I cannot tell you how many times I see people that are in fear, and then when
Yeah,
they let that fear go, they're going, "What was I thinking?" And you literally can literally step through the veils of fear into enlightenment much more simply
yeah,
than you realize. And
yeah,
freedom is a choice of what you want to be. You know, you have
yeah,
to decide what that is. What do you want to be? Do you want to be
yeah.
fearless or fearful, right?
Exactly.
Um, we you're going to be working with us. Go ahead. I cut you off. Yes. And ultimately, we've proven in this course all of our fears, all our emotions are usually all based on our past. Yeah, no worries. I totally get that. I totally get that. Um, the the ability the ability to deliberately let go of our fear, because it's all just past. All of your emotions are past, and we focus on bringing you out of your past and into the present. Just got a wee bit of a lag, so we'll have to see if it reconnects. Can you hear me okay now? Perfect. Um, I know Michael's been buzzing in my ear for a while. He's saying, listen, this is a time where there's many questions. I'm seeing questions coming up here too. They're saying we can't hear Gillen all of a sudden, but you can hear William. That's okay, Lori. It's just because of the lag sometimes between there and here.
Can you hear me now?
It's still skipping a bit. Uh, I just heard you for a moment, but there's a slight lag. It might be. There's a lot of huge
Okay.
cosmic radiation bombarding the planet right now, and for the next 3 days. So it's totally fine. We'll just work with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that's okay.
Exactly.
They they still can't hear you yet, Gillen.
Mm. Okay. Can they hear me now? Oh, let me
Yeah.
see. Oh, let me see. Can they hear me now? Oh, let me see. Um,
There. I just heard you.
okay, hold on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly now. Can everybody else hear Gillen too? Yes, they can hear you now. Perfect. All it is a lag. That's all it is, Gillen. It's just a timing lag. Um, one of the mhm. How would you define ascension? We still have that lag, Gillen. So, but everybody else says they can hear you right now. Perfect, perfect. And you can hear me okay? Reconnect in a minute, and then we'll move on to the next part of this. But Archangel Michael's been with me for the last. Important that you deliberately and intentionally engage yourself in being your full potential, to step beyond the established limits of who you are told to think you are supposed to be, because who you think you are supposed to be is not necessarily who you truly are, although certain elements of who you truly are may exist in who you're being at the present. But the goal in the ascension process is to get you to step out of the old self and into that which you truly are. Align yourself with us and begin to express your divine truth and wisdom through time, space, and matter. It is the time to raise up the consciousness of all those on this planet, of the entire human family. The separation has to end now. In fact, it never really began, but that the perception that there is some form of separation has created a false alienation of one human from another. And we are here to end that separation, to create a greater unity and a greater harmony for humanity and all other forms on this planet. This is the time. Okay, I think Gillen's signal's lost. Thank you, Michael. Anyway, I invite everybody to go to my website, williammichaelforbescoaching.com. You get all the information and the details about our upcoming courses, which are starting October 5th. We got our Mediumship 101 course for beginners. And then in October 25th, we have the Mediumship 102 course, which is for an intermediate level, where we get into dealing with some of the inner blocks that you might have about connecting to your divine team. But in the first course, you'll learn how to actually sense and feel the divine beings that are with you right now, seeking to work with you and guide you. I think she just came back in. Let's try this one more time and we'll... It's not a problem at your end, Gillen. You're at the part of the planet that's getting bombarded with all the cosmic radiation right now. This new ascension energy coming in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's causing this.
Yeah, and that's why I've just, sometimes my house it's really affected in there, so I've come out to my car because I get better service here. So if everyone can excuse the fact I'm in my car, but it seems to work a little better outside.
I'm just delighted that you've got no more fear now about coming on and getting off or things changing. And that's something else you learn. When things change, it doesn't mean something's wrong.
Yeah.
Your voice has stopped. That's okay. I get it. But it's okay. Yeah. Does anybody have questions or concerns about what we've discussed so far? Because we'll take questions right now. And I've got Master Jesus with me and I've got Archangel Michael with me that will address the question. Car channeling. I love that. So you take a look at Gillen as one of many people that have come to these courses afraid that they wouldn't be able to connect to the divine team, uncertain about what direction life was going, and you will find within yourself all of the answers, all the solutions to what you need to know exist within you, and what information you do not have and that you do need, you will find in connecting with your divine team, with the divine beings that are with you, your angels, archangels, ascended masters. They're with all of us all of the time. We just have to learn to shift our perceptual awareness so that we can tune into them, much the same way as you can use your cell phone to call somebody and tune into them wherever they are on the planet, or tune a radio station to a different channel. Once you learn how to adjust your consciousness, your perception, you can connect directly to your divine team. And this whole course is designed about getting you connected to higher frequencies of love in terms of what and who you truly are. Because love is what you are. It's not something you have to attain. Love isn't something to be attained. Love is something to remember that that's what you are. And then to begin to enable yourself to function from that consciousness in terms of how you treat your body, in terms of how you treat your mind, in terms of how you think about the world. You can make some amazing changes. I'm not seeing any questions at this point. Oh, thank you. Let me ask. He's Master Jesus saying, I got to stop worrying so much about things not being connected the way we think they should, but to trust in the process that is unfolding right now. For everybody that is here at this moment, listening to these words, are here because it is this time for them to connect to that which is true for them. The goal of love on this planet is to reestablish that love universally among humans, to deliberately and intentionally establish that reality in your hearts and mind. It is there now, waiting for you to remember, recognize, and express that. It is not something to be acquired as what you are. It is what the Creator made all of us to be, made all of us to be in its image of all love, of all goodness. But that is a choice that we were left free to make, to align to that which is good or that which is not good. Free will is given to you to decide what it is you will be or what you will not be. This is the process that humanity is facing right now, to choose love or fear. And we are all here to facilitate that process. But you must choose it. He's saying we must all choose it. Or not choose it. But whatever your choice will be your choice, and you are free to make it. Don't waste time being in fear. Do not waste your precious life being in fear, because fear is a lie. Love is your truth. Yes. He's saying, thank you for taking this time to be present for this information. May it lead you to that which you wish to know to be true for yourself. He says, much, much love to all of you. He says, there is no doubt where there is no fear. Thank you. Yeah. He's giving me a little head rub here. He does that from time to time too. So I want to thank everybody for coming by and listening to this. And thank you so much, Gillen, for taking the time to share your thoughts and your experiences with us. I cannot tell you just how many times we've seen people have these wake-up calls and go through these huge transformations, and this may be your call too. So much love, everybody. Again, thank you for coming, and WilliamMichaelForbesCoaching.com is where you'll find all the course information. It's well worth your time, effort, and energy to come and investigate and know thyself. Know thyself. Much love, everybody. Bye for now.